Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 10 and 11, he left his chambers and he's here to do a more serious assignment. So the work of missions is for everybody. It doesn't matter. Teaching practice. After now, you go back to your school start from commit. Now that training starts first of all in the home, and then transitions to the school. By the time the child leaves the primary, secondary school, by that time character is formed, right? And then after that, if that child is going to be good, it's going to be bad. He's left. I am the one who in Jesus' name. Father God, today as a people, we come before you on behalf, Lord, of the churches, of the messengers you have sent to the churches. We come before you, God, on behalf of every man, woman, boy, and girl in Latte. Father, we declare that we have sinned. We are the ones who committed those sins, O God. We take upon ourselves, O God, the punishment for those sins, the penalty for those sins. But Lord, you take up that penalty, no, on the authority of the blood of Jesus, to ask for forgiveness for the sins of this community, to ask for forgiveness for the sins of the ministers, to ask for forgiveness for the sins of the churches, to ask for forgiveness for the sins of every man, forgive. Forgive today. Forgive today. Forgive today. Forgive today. If we say that we have not sinned, oh God, we make you out to be a liar. Father, we acknowledge that we have sinned against you. But Lord, we know that if we confess our sins, you are faithful and just, Lord Jesus. Father God, let that blood of Jesus visit the foundations of this community. Visit it, oh God. Cleanse every record of iniquity, every record of idolatry. Cleanse every record. Cleanse every record. Wipe it out today. In the day where I am standing now is a place called Latte, and Latte is in the eastern region of Ghana, precisely under Accra. Latte is the particular place you can recall in the 80s when Papa Idahosa had an encounter with the witches, when the witches gathered in Nigeria and wanted to have their meeting. And Papa Idahosa fought them single-handedly and decreed that they won't hold that meeting there. Now, after that incident, they moved down to Ghana. The particular place they came to Ghana is this place we are standing now. Is this town called Latte. And because of that, they have their international, all the witches have their international headquarters here. And as a result of that, this place is under total spiritual, demonic darkness. And a lot of things are happening in this place. This place per se is a town, is not, though it's a town, but it is one of the most darkest places we have visited since we started our mission trip.
Our brother here, the Capro coordinator, will be here to tell us better about this place.
Godwin Yobusa Igagi from Edo State. I'm from Edo State in Nigeria, precisely already local government. I'm married to Tesi Chiwendu Igagi, and the Lord has also blessed us with 2 kids, Mercy Igagi and Courage Igagi. Both of us, we are currently working here, leading the Capro work in Latin Eastern region.
Yeah, how did you come to this place, and what are you really doing here?
Shortly before we left Nigeria in 1996, the Lord has told us that we're going to work in Ghana. From 1996, we've been preparing to come to Ghana, and in the course of prayer, the Lord led us into Capro, and the vision had been on, been praying. But shortly before we transited to Ghana, the Lord told us that we'll be coming to a place. He told us the nature of the kind of work we are coming to do. And upon arriving Accra in 2007, June 2nd, 2007, we were told that we'll be coming to a place where the witches have their international headquarters. And we know that the Lord had prepared us for such a thing.
Can understand that we're on top of the mountain. I know what we suffer before we climbed here, even though vehicle helped us. Do you know why they are living in the mountain instead of at the plain area?
Yes. According to the source of history, we were told that the first settlers here fled in a bid to secure a place for refuge for their lives during the time of the Ashanti Kingdom, and they were making efforts to want to conquer the other minority group who were not paying allegiance to the Ashanti Kingdoms, and that was what led them to this place for peace and also for self-defense.
What is this tribe called?
They are called the Latarians, and they speak Aquapin Tree. Slightly different from the Shanti tree, the common language that is widely spoken all over the country. I think the population should range between 480-something thousand people in this range.
And how many villages are on top of this mountain?
There are over 20-something on top of this mountain.
What is their religion like?
I would say that the religions, they are traditionalists, they are idol worshippers.
What type of idol do they worship?
Here, the people worship a shrine called Akonadi, the spirit of cow. They believe so very strongly upon this shrine, such that people come from all over the world and within the country to come to seek for power, protection from the shrine.
Now, because I understand that there is a thick darkness over the people, and the witchcraft activities in this environment is so great that the people are held under total bondage. Can you throw more light on that?
There's a real darkness over the land due to the very presence of the stronghold of witches, wizards, Coptic group who seeks to take refuge under the conducive atmosphere of the spiritual condition of this place. Here, people are given to killings. They do a lot of killings, ritual killings. Here, there is a very strong level of demonic activities, in the sense that people build houses and they don't live in their houses. As you can see, there are mansions towards the left hand side.
Beautiful houses in this place.
Beautiful mansions, but you can't find any single person living in that house because of the very presence of these wicked activities that is being perpetrated here. That's just an example of it. You could also find some uncompleted buildings either the person started and then it just died mysteriously because he didn't go to make peace or have settle the people of the land before advancing his project. That is the nature of the spiritual situation here.
You were telling me something about a child that was going to school or coming back from school, and a woman called him in. What actually happened in that case?
I will record last year precisely, a child was returning back from school, and the elderly woman sitting in the front of the house beckoned on the child, and they attracted the child by saying that, oh, you don't have a nice uniform. I've gotten you a nice uniform, and you come inside and I'll give the uniform to you. Unfortunately for the child, was deceived and followed this woman into the room and asked the small child to remove her dress, and then she dressed the child. Upon wearing the uniform, she never knew where she was again, and the child was placed before a big pot, empty, and as the woman conjured witchcraft power, eventually the child began to vomit blood until the pot was full. She was satisfied with the amount of blood she needed and released the child to go. And the child was weak. Before she could go home, she was very, very weak and tired. And upon inquiring, the child was able to confess what happened. The parents had to rush in there and threaten the woman if anything happened to their child. They would get rid of her also. And she had to do everything possible to secure the life of the child because her activities was exposed.
We went to some schools to minister to them. And after the ministration, the principal of the school called us and was telling me, said that the problem they have is that after teaching them, the children, that they hardly comprehend or remember what they are taught immediately. Can you also highlight the activities of these young children in the school?
Like you know, where the devil has his strongholds, definitely his cohorts are operational everywhere. Some of them have confessed that they have their representative in all the schools on this reach. There were cases where students who are representative of these witchcraft activities stays in the classroom to carry out their ministry work, such that they blindfold the teacher in such a way that he just teaches effortlessly, and after his teachings he doesn't get the result he's expecting because they will either make the students sleep in the classroom or either makes them do other activities in the course of the lecture, or a night previously before the lecture begins, they attack them in the dream such that their brains are locked up. Some, there were cases that in a particular school that we went in Benkun, where the mouth of the student was sealed up, couldn't talk, he can't respond to questions in the classroom, and after classroom, he begin to talk. As soon as she enter classroom again, she can't talk again. There were cases of a primary school student who confessed that they play football with the head of the teacher, and it doesn't matter which medicine she takes, she will never get better until they also release the teacher from the captivity. And upon hearing this, the headmistress requested that the teacher should be brought back to the school, and they did. And the child went to the bush, got some leaves, put them into the bucket with water, made some few incantations, and then they washed the head of the teacher. Instantly, the headache disappeared. That she has attempted curing with Western medicine for over 2 months.
Coastal churches, even some Orthodox churches in the town are fast becoming Pentecostal churches, and they are on fire now. Now, why is it that upon all the churches we have in this area, they are not making any impact? Does it mean that the powers here have something to do with the pastors, or are they influencing the pastors' preaching? How? What do you have to say on this area?
Sadly for us or for this town, it is rather on the reverse. You would have expected in any environment that the Pentecostal churches should bring revival into places, but that is not the case here. Even the Pentecostal churches that came initially with mind of bringing revival to this town were subdued by the powers that are in the land. The reason is because they have also had their representative in all the churches. Their representative in the shrine are the same people who are the deacons, who are the elders, who are the board of trustees, who are the presiding ministers, lay preachers within the congregations. So they got hold on the town from every nook and corner, such that every effort to try to resist the presence of these people to take a divine intervention of God from the look of things since we have seen. They have up to about 23 churches, 23. But in all of these, you can still describe the condition of the church if you read the book of Revelation chapter 3 from verse 1, where Jesus was addressing a particular church called the Church of Sardis. It's not very far from the situation we see here, where he said that they have a good reputation, they are full of activities, but they are dead while they are alive. That is the situation of the church. The church it looks vibrant, they have nice building, nice structure, architectural design, but when you enter inside, you know that the Spirit of God is not present here.
Now, are there instances you have about the men of God that were here? Were they frustrated out of the place? Were they sick? In what way can you tell us that they are affected negatively?
Sadly for us or for this town, it is rather on the reverse. You would have expected in any environment that the Pentecostal churches should bring revival into places, but that is not the case here. Even the Pentecostal churches that came initially with mind of bringing revival to this town were subdued by the powers that are in the land. The reason is because they have also had their representative in all the churches. Their representative in the shrine are the same people who are the deacons, who are the elders, who are the board of trustees, who are the presiding ministers, lay preachers within the congregations. So they got hold on the town from every nook and corner, such that every effort to try to resist the presence of these people to take a divine intervention of God from the look of things since we have seen. They have up to about 23 churches, 23. But in all of these, you can still describe the condition of the church if you read the book of Revelation chapter 3 from verse 1, where Jesus was addressing a particular church called the Church of Sardis. It's not very far from the situation we see here, where he said that they have a good reputation, they are full of activities, but they are dead while they are alive. That is the situation of the church. The church it looks vibrant, they have nice building, nice structure, architectural design, but when you enter inside, you know that the Spirit of God is not present here.
Now, are there instances you have about the men of God that were here? Were they frustrated out of the place? Were they sick? In what way can you tell us that they are affected negatively?
Yes, there was a case of a very young man like us who came into this town. I think he should be one of the Pentecostal ministers who would have be a channel of revival into this town, but because the people had planned and tried him, they didn't succeed, and they decided to also tempt him in the area of his ministry work. And since he's a minister that loved deliverance, they decided to channel a lady in the name of deliverance, and the lady came in the night, and upon coming, and they started manifesting, rolling herself on the floor, all in printers. And she did that. The pastor prayed and prayed and prayed. She left. Midnight, this lady would run back again to the pastor and says she cannot sleep in the house, but you see the demons have also come to trouble me in the house. Since your place is safer for me, they don't disturb me here, can I take refuge in this place? And then the pastor accommodated this lady in the house, and then the lady started manifesting all alone with this pastor in the house. Eventually she removed her clothes in the course of manifesting, and she was stark naked. And before the man of God will know it, the lady seduced him, and he had sexual intercourse with this lady. By 5 a.m., the news has spread all over this town what this man of God has done. In fact, the fetish priests themselves went to the headquarters of the ministry of this brother and reported the case in such a way that the brother was excommunicated.
There is another case you mentioned to me, the one they used the house help to get a pit from here.
Yes.
And the other pastor that is here that wants to go. Can you throw me light on this?
There was also another case, particularly in the Church of Methodist Church, where there was also the move of God within the church, and it was like the presence of this man is a threat, tempting. They tried him with money, they couldn't succeed in the area of money. They tempted him in the area of women, they didn't succeed, and then they decided to penetrate in their home through the use of the house help. You know, because he's a minister, he was a busy person, he needed somebody who could assist the wife, and then somebody volunteered to render the help of a house help to him, and they channeled their activities through the house help. You know, after dawn, when they leave the house, they will ask the child, the boy that was living with them, to remove the bedspread of the minister from the bed and bring it to them. So the child will do that innocently, was manipulated. He will take the bed sheet, he will take it to them, they will manipulate, do their concoction on the bed and give it back to the boy. He will go and dress the bed again on their bedroom, and when they lie on it, the man of God who has never fought with his wife, who have never had a dispute with his wife, for the first time, all of these began to manifest. And shortly after that, the marriage was in crisis, and he was also conquered. He pulled out of this town. There was also another case again of a minister in the same church. He had heard so much about the town, he had done a lot of survey, and he came like a person that was fully armed. But unfortunately, to him also, he was also attacked. But in this sense, in the sense of wanting to kill the child was returning back from school when a car veered off the road and just picked the child and knocked the child. The child was admitted in the hospital, but with prayers and with God's intervention, the child was restored back to life. Upon seeing this, the man of God also fled. There was another minister who also came, who also had made efforts to try to bring reformation into one of the Orthodox church, precisely Presby Church. He almost lost his 2 eyes. He went through surgical operation, and the surgery was perfectly done, perfectly. Upon arriving in this town, he went blind. For no cause. But with prayers, with retreats, he got back his sight, but he's using glasses now. Immediately he recovered, he also fled from this town. And there are a number of them. Those who have not been able to flee from this town are currently like there are people, they are like ministers who are held hostage in this land, such that they know that